Hey everyone, I am back to do the news with Manny. Yay, Manny. I don't know why I do this because I watched our video and it's like the complete opposite. So this is probably like do this. Manny.
From my point of view, I'm on top. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, well, maybe I can do that. Let's change the view. You know what? Never mind. How you been, man?
pretty good, man. Got a few news this week ready to
It is
share.
a small news week. Very small news week. So because it is a small news week, we'll talk about Stranger Things because you and I uh watched both volumes that came out this summer. I know the other guys. I know Matt is pretty big into like Stranger Things, um, but I don't think that Alex and Ryan are. So we'll save this. We'll save the Stranger Things review for us, um, since we collectively kind of like enjoy Stranger Things. We'll kind of like kick this news out of the way first. 'Cause yeah, like we said, it's pretty slow news week. Um, so first up on our news, um, Thor, Thor: Love and Thunder, I guess is not getting very much love on Rotten Tomatoes. Apparently, it is at a 69% in Rotten Tomatoes, which kind of surprises me because I've heard a lot of decent things. I've heard that this isn't as good as Ragnarok, but as with the reviews that I've read, that it's a decent Thor movie. Um, so I hope it's not. I don't really pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes. Do you?
Not really. I don't go off their judgment, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah. Like, I like Taika Waititi. Like I like his sense of humor. It's not for everyone. Alex doesn't care for it. That's that's fine. Um, I don't know. Like maybe it's Jane being Thor. I don't like. I have a feeling that it's like what a lot of people are just not liking is her being.
I don't know, man. I was excited when I saw Mjolnir back and she was wielding it.
Hmm.
That was it's pretty dope, man. And when she threw Mjolnir and like,
Yeah, I'm excited. I liked Ragnarok a lot. I thought it was better than the first two. Like I said, it's probably because I like Waititi's kind of like sense of humor and the dry and making Thor a little less serious. Because those first two movies those are heavy, bro.
I wasn't really a big fan of the Dark World, if I'm being quite honest.
No,
And
not
then,
really.
I mean, even Thor himself is not that type of serious guy. He's always like joking around,
Mm,
trying to fit in, with Earth and everything, and just yeah, I don't
yeah,
know, you know, just
yeah.
that's it.
I hope it goes off. I hope that it's better than the score that it's giving it because it's like some of these Marvel movies do deserve the score, like the Eternals. That was like a 50 or something like that. Um, yeah, it was. I had such high hopes for the Eternals. Um, they let me down. Um, but yeah, I hope it's better than it is. Probably go see it this weekend. What about you?
I'm going Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah,
Nice. Is the wife going with you? No. Okay, we won't talk about that. All right, moving on. Um, Off the back of the success of Stranger Things season 4, the Duffer Brothers and Netflix have been talking about a lot of things, spin-offs for Stranger Things, the Stranger Things world, um, and a Death Note uh, live action series. For those of you that don't know or may know or know little about, Death Note is an anime about a kid who finds a book from is he a demon? He's not a demon, is he? Like a god or something like that.
it's
God
kind of
of
like
death.
God.
Yeah.
They can see. They live in the sky, so basically a god,
Mm,
and you see, everybody. and each one of them has like a little a death note. You know,
Notebook, yeah.
yeah. Hence the name of the anime.
Hmm.
And I guess one of them just got bored and threw his death note down onto Earth, and main character
Yeah.
picks it up and just kicks it off
Yeah.
from there.
So yeah, there's like a so the whole anime is about morality and what to do with such power and things. The anime obviously is amazing. Um, you didn't care for the second season. I thought it was okay. But they did do a live action movie on Netflix that was directed by Adam Wingard, who was the director of the latest Godzilla movie. And that was no good. No good at all. And I think a lot of it was because of it was being whitewashed, setting it in Seattle. It was an American adaptation of a Japanese anime. I'm hoping that the Duffer Brothers don't whitewash this. They may, you know, if they Americanize it, at least don't whitewash the cast. That's my only concern. Kind of keep it grounded like that. Um, thoughts?
I don't know, man. After the movie, my high hopes for any type of live adaptation of any anime just it's been going down, man. It's
Uh,
any anime live adaptation, like the Dragon Ball Z movie, Death Note, the Avatar. I'm probably forgetting a few, which is good because probably weren't even worth watching. If it's a series, then maybe they can like stretch it out, make it good. But I just don't know, man. Death Note, I don't know. Maybe if it was like another anime, maybe it would be better.
yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic because it is the Duffer Brothers and they've built this world in Hawkins, Indiana that is horror-esque. I know that a lot of it is deeped into like the sci-fi horror of like the 80s and stuff. And so I'm kind of excited and optimistic to see what they can do with this type of like world. Because I mean it is right up their alley. Um, Now as far as like other animes that they could have adapted, I mean that's a laundry list of stuff that they probably could have adapted. I mean, Netflix is adapting One Piece, which is what 2,000 episodes deep in their own anime. That's probably going to be hard to do. They tried with Cowboy Bebop, and I think that failed miserably. So I get the pessimism of trying to adapt like some of these animes, but I don't know. I just want to stay optimistic with this. I mean, what other anime do you think that they could have adapted?
See, with Cowboy Bebop, I really had high hopes. Like I really wanted it to come out because the cast was amazing.
Hmm.
The cast that they
Yeah,
had was really good. It's just I don't know. Me personally, Death Note is probably one of my least favorite anime that I watched.
yeah, because it was pretty short, wasn't it?
It was like 2 seasons, I think, two, three.
Let's look that up.
I mean, like I said, after the first season, everything just didn't really live up to the hype like it used to.
Hmm.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah, I've seen some of it, most of it, I should say. I don't think I've finished it. It says it has 37 episodes. That's pretty short. It's pretty quick. I mean, at 20 minutes per episode? Because they're only a half hour, right?
20, 30 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty quick. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Stay positive. Stay optimistic, sir. Okay.
I will give
Let's
it a shot. I will give it a shot. See what it's like.
okay, so Kevin Smith fans, the Clerks 3 trailer dropped. Um, I'm gonna preface my opinion on this by saying I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. I think he's a great guy. He seems genuine. His movies are his movies. I mean, what can you say? My favorite one of his movies was Chasing Amy. I think that just had a little bit more depth to it than most of his other movies. But I'm kind of leaning towards our famous segment on production meetings. Why do we need this? Like, I understand Kevin Smith trying to make movies and like get a near-death experience, and he wants to like project that into his movies and be a little bit more meta. But okay, have you seen the trailer?
No.
Oh, do you know what this is?
Clerks? No.
Yeah.
Never really got into it.
Have you seen the movie though?
Seen bits of it. Like
Oh,
I've seen him with my brother, like, when I wasn't allowed to watch those type of movies or whatever. Mom was like, don't do it. So, I never really understood it, but I've seen like bits here and there.
you know what's ironic though is like his first four movies are pretty tame considering like the rest of them. So like Clerks and Mallrats and then Chasing Amy and even Dogma, because even Dogma has like a giant poop monster, which is ridiculous upon itself. But like his first four movies are pretty tame. And then like you get into like these last like Zach and Miri make a porno, and like some of his other movies just kind of like push the envelope a little bit into like the gross. Um so I'm kind of like wondering where he's gonna go with this. Um yeah, whatever. Moving on. So God of War Ragnarok has a release date, finally, of November 9th. Excited for this? Yes.
I'm ready to fight Thor.
Didn't we fight Thor in the first one?
No. You fight his
Oh,
sons.
Balder or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you
Does he
play.
make an appearance?
Yeah, he made an appearance at like the end of the scene, at the end of the game, where the kid, I forgot his name, he has like a dream. And
Loki, essentially.
well, yeah, Loki, well, I want to call it Loki.
Spoilers.
And like he has a dream of where, it's thunderstorming, it's raining outside, and then you just see Thor. Well, you don't see him exactly, you just see like half of his bottom body. And then he
Uh-huh.
like moves his arm, the cape flies, and then you see the iconic hammer. And then it just cuts to black.
Interesting.
I mean,
Well,
they got concept art for the new God of War Ragnarok with Thor in it.
yeah, don't they have like one with what's the dog's name? Dog's like Finner? No,
Yeah,
the dog. Yeah, there's like some poster that they had on Facebook that was like had the two of them and then the giant dog. Um, but man, I'm excited for this. Like, the last one, last God of War for PS4 was amazing. Um, I hope that they don't do this as a PS5 exclusive, like they're doing all the other games that I want to play. Stupid Sony.
hey man, God of War has always been a PlayStation exclusive. I think it should stay that way.
Well, no, I hope that they don't put it exclusively on the five. Like, I hope that they put it on the four as well. Like, I just
Well,
because like Gotham.
they said that they were gonna stop making PlayStation 4 games by 2024 or 2025, if I'm not mistaken. So you should be good on maybe getting it.
Should be, but Gotham Knights is going to be only on the PS5, and then Jedi Jedi Survivor is going to be only on the five. Boo. So
I'll let you know how the game is, bro.
yeah, that's ridiculous. So yes, Santa Monica, please put it on the 4 as well, please. Some of us would like to play it and not spend $900 just to get a PS5 to play this game. Any more thoughts on God of War? This is exciting.
I'm just ready to kick Thor's ass. I was expecting
Yeah?
a little more of a better look for Thor. That was kind of a little letdown for my end of the part. Have you seen his concept art or no?
Uh-uh. Let's bring
They
it up.
they kind of gave him like a beer gut belly.
Did they really? Thor concept art God of War. Here we go. Oh my gosh.
looks short, like really short. I don't know. He just gives me that short vibe.
So I'm going to share my screen with this so everybody can see. Oh, I guess I can't. Anyway, yeah, he's kind of tubby. A
So
few, few too
that was
many.
that was a little letdown. Maybe throughout the fight, he goes into like another stage, or one gets a better armor or something. Who knows?
What is this? Angrabata? Angroboda? Huh, new character. Cool. All right. Sounds amazing. Speaking of games, Sucker Punch says that they are solely focused on Ghost of Tsushima and that they are not making any other games, i.e., no more Infamous for a while. And what are their other games? Was it Sly the Raccoon or whatever? Isn't that what they do?
Oh, yeah.
Let's look it up. Anyway, boo. I don't like this at all. Because I think that I don't like. I feel like I understand that they want to focus on making like Ghost of Tsushima like a really good game. Yeah, it is like Cooper.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
Cooper.
yeah, I could have swore that they but anyway, I know that they really want to like focus on this and like make it a really good game, which is commendable. But I mean, I want the new Infamous game. Like that's been a long time coming.
Man,
Not
I don't know, man. Between Infamous and the Ghost, I prefer the Ghost. Ghost of Tsushima was a beautiful game, gorgeous graphics, great storyline, great combat, you know, and just Japanese style was so spot on. I really fell in love with that game.
Oh, I completely agree. I think it's an amazing game. Um, like you said, graphics and storyline. I I want another Infamous game. Like,
I mean,
why can we
if you think about
multitask?
it, if you think about it, like tell me another game that is like similar to the Ghost when it comes to like that Japanese culture.
Oh, far not. I mean, nothing that I can think of. But I mean,
And I don't know, to me, it just feel like there's been like a lot of superhero games that are similar to like the Infamous game.
that is true.
You
That's
know,
true. But yeah, but can you really go wrong with the original recipe? I mean,
you can't. The Infamous series has been going strong. Can't complain about it. Really like them. I really enjoyed the games. My favorite one is the Second Son.
it's a good one. It's a good one.
You know, spoiler alerts if you don't know, alternate endings. Like,
Yeah, he was bad. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I
yeah,
hope this means that this like I just hope that this new Ghost of Tsushima, because they've stopped production or is not going into production for any other game but this, they better like bring out the best products since the first one and even exceed. Because I think that if they do this and they don't bring out any other like Infamous or Sly Cooper games, then it's just gonna be like, well, you could have, if this is what we got because of it. See what I'm saying?
what
So,
do you think the next threat is gonna be?
huh?
What do you think the next threat's gonna be?
Oh, I don't know, probably outside forces, China or something.
I wouldn't mind like. Well, you finished the game, right?
Yeah.
Did you like, spoiler alerts for anybody, but did you like kill his uncle or let the uncle live?
I think I let him live.
I mean, if they're letting him live, is canon and it's what you're supposed to do. I wouldn't mind him seeing it going against his uncle. Him on the run as the ghost, overthrowing the shogun.
Interesting. Yeah, but what happens if you kill him?
I mean, they still hunt you. I played the game 3 times, passed it all 3 times, just to see what would happen. But I mean, on all of them, every samurai is technically after you. You know, his clan is no longer a clan, and yeah, he's pretty much
Interesting.
on the run.
Hmm. All right. Well, moving on. Movie news. James Cameron doesn't want to hear any whining about how long Avatar 2 is. His take is that if we can binge watch hours long episodes of TV, then you can sit through his movie, apparently.
I
Um,
would gladly do it.
I don't care. I was never a fan of the first one. Like I was like, oh, okay. Um, I think I am in the rare minority, and please don't send me any hates for this, but I think I'm in the rare minority to think that James Cameron is egotistical. I just think that he's got a huge head for no reason. He made a couple pretty good action movies, um, and then Titanic, and that's about it. I mean, I'll give him credit for the visuals of Avatar, and um, the technology that he used for Avatar, but the
You don't
story
like
was
this
all right.
one? Really?
Not really. I mean, it's aliens.
We never actually talked about this movie before.
What, you and I?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be our first time talking about it.
Probably. Yeah. Like I I don't know. I was just not a huge fan. I think that like he gets too much credit for being like this director, and it's just like what have you really done? I mean, like I said, the technology of the first one was great, and then like Titanic, like I thought was a little overrated.
You don't like Jack? It's okay.
No, because she could have moved over. Like seriously, for real. Like this debate is going to go on for I think forever. But I'm on the fence. I'm on the side of like she could have scooted over.
I
Um,
mean, you're not wrong. She was being a little selfish. I mean, how could you go to sleep when he's right there dying in front of you?
yeah, right.
Come on,
What the
bro.
hell?
Like,
Yeah, bro.
at least talk to him until he died.
Well, kick your legs, bro. Like keep your blood flowing. Um, but I think with I think my point is that like with the movies that he's directed, the technical side of most of his or on some of his movies is worth noting. Like Titanic, like building the sets and stuff like that for Titanic and everything, and going to the Titanic and doing all that stuff is impressive. It's very impressive. And I'll give him credit for that. The technology that he used with Avatar and stuff and the 3D that he used for Avatar is impressive. But if you take all that stuff away from his movies, like Titanic, it's just a typical love story of it's Romeo and Juliet, essentially.
Better, but we'll keep
Yeah.
going. We'll keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially just Romeo and Juliet. It's the boy from the wrong side of the tracks falls in love with the rich girl, and the rich girl wants to prove his status so that they can be together or whatever. And tragic events happen, and she moves on.
First of all, Romeo and Juliet were just kids. Okay. Second of all, Rose didn't die. She lived thanks to our hero Jack. Okay.
Hmm.
It's a different type of love story. Okay.
But when you break it down, it's still the essential. It's still a very basic love story that's happened in a tragic event, and then he did True Lies, which is a good movie. I mean, it's a good action movie. He did Aliens, Terminator, two Terminator movies, which I think the first is better than the second one. Sorry. Arnold as a villain is much better than Arnold as a babysitter. Um, but even then, like even with T2, like the technical side of that movie is impressive because it's the first time that they can use that type of CGI in a live action movie like that. For one of the first times. But it's still an action movie at the basic ends of it. So
I just think he's amazing,
he's a generational talent.
He's a true inspiration to everybody.
I hope not. I hope not.
I mean,
I've also
are you still gonna watch it though? Like, are you gonna give it a shot?
well, yeah. I mean, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm not saying that like his movies are horrible, but I just, huh?
Because you do know there's gonna be Avatar 3 too, right?
There's like 5 of them coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, this was going to say. Apparently, he said that he wasn't going to direct, or that he was thinking of not directing 4 and 5 because I think they did 2 and 3 together, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because 2 comes out.
2
comes out in
on
December.
December 16th of this year.
Right. And then the third one will come out next December, I would imagine. And then I don't know when the 4th and 5th one because he's not directing them. So I just hope it's not going to take as long as the last gap. Because wasn't Avatar made in like 2008?
Wasn't it 10?
Doesn't it? Let's double check. Avatar. 2009. Because it's split the difference. Yeah. Cool. That's 11 years ago. 12 years ago. No. Math is not mathing right now. Anyway. Yeah, man. I guess
we'll have to see him. Hopefully he changes your mind with this new movie.
I mean, I'm with you. I think I'll go see this. I will definitely go see this movie because I want to clarify that I don't think that his movies are bad. I think that they're overrated. I think Avatar is a little overrated. I think that Titanic is hugely overrated. But his movies before Titanic are good action movies, and they have like there's a lot to it. I mean, like let's look at his filmography. Let's look at his filmography. Filmography. Okay. So he's only think he's did like 6 movies. Oh, here we go. Okay, so The Terminator was an amazing action movie, action sci-fi movie that like kind of like broke the mold. Okay. He did Aliens, which is a good follow-up. It was one of the better sequels of all time. Okay. The Abyss. Okay. That was a decent movie.
Okay, that one I'll give it to you. That one was okay.
Yeah. T2, again, technically pretty cool. But as a story, it's the same as Terminator, really. Same story. True Lies, I thought was better than T2, strictly because I think that it had a better storyline and a better cast. Ghost of the Abyss, I think these are his like documentaries that he did. Ghost of the Abyss and Aliens of the Deep. Those are Disney things that he did. Okay, and then we get to Avatar. Those are all of his movies. So I'm not really sure like why like people are holding him at this high regard as being this amazing director. He's only directed like literally he did Piranha 2, The Spawning in 1982.
See, that just shows you right there. He doesn't need that many movies to show that he's the best.
Really? Okay.
I mean, come on, like he made Aliens and Terminators, 2 of the most iconic figures that you know are out there.
Mm-hmm.
He did Titanic like a true love story right there, not like Romeo and Juliet. And then he came out and did Avatar. Didn't he won like awards for how many awards did he won for Avatar?
I don't think he won anything for Avatar.
I thought he did. Hold on, let me check.
For Avatar?
Yeah.
Avatar won 3. I was nominated for 9. Won 2 BAFTA awards and 2 Golden Globe awards. So let's go. Okay. I know he got director for Titanic, and I think best picture for Titanic, but I don't think that went to him. So let's go to the awards marketing breakdown. Come on, Wikipedia. Critical response, accolades. Here we go. Avatar won for best art direction, cinematography, and visual effects. Was nominated for a total of 9, including best picture and director. Avatar also won awards for best motion picture drama and best director in the Golden Globes, and was nominated for 2 others. A bunch of Saturn awards, BAFTA awards, and all that other stuff. So, like I said, visually, it was great.
You're just hating on camera today, man.
Sorry, I think he's a decent director. I just don't understand the hype around him. There's nothing really like he's done. I mean, just I guess from a film student perspective, I mean, he's a decent director, but when you compare him to other like established directors like Martin Scorsese, Mean Street, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Gangs of New York, The Departed, Spielberg, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T. You have all these other, even Francis Ford Coppola. You got the Apocalypse Now and the Godfather trilogy, and some other, other movies. And then I don't understand why people put Cameron in the same kind of conversation as one of the best directors out there. I mean, even I personally, this is my personal opinion, is I even think that Nolan has surpassed him. Christopher Nolan, with his Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, Memento, Following, even with Tenet. Like, I just think that there's like, especially even with Dunkirk, like I think Nolan has even surpassed Cameron as a better director right now, because with I understand, like with Cameron, he makes these movies that kind of break the mold. But sort of George Lucas. Lucas made Star Wars in 1977. Would you consider him one of the all-time best directors? Because let's face it, like Lucas created a whole universe, and I think that the
Universe.
creation of that universe, I think the creation of that universe is always is going to be world changing. But I mean, the only two movies that I would actually give him credit for being like a like a good director is American Graffiti and The New Hope. Those prequel trilogy was struggling. So in my personal opinion, I think that like when people put him into like conversation of a great director, my great directors are going to be Scorsese or Christopher Nolan or even Billy Wilder in the 40s and 50s. Like they just made. I think it's just also the quantity of movies that they've made that were great. But like I said, I will see this movie, um, and I hope that I'm proven wrong.
I mean, you are wrong, but I'm gonna just let you have. I'm gonna just let you have this one.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, let's move on. Tyron Edgerton is in hopes that his talks with Marvel are going to prosper into his role as Wolverine. This I can see. I can definitely see this happening. I think that he's a good actor. I think he's got a new show on Apple right now too, Bird Box or Bird something, Blackbird. I don't know. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, we need a new regime as Wolverine, man. You on board with this?
I hope they make. I hope they start showing more of a Wolverine side, like you know, Logan. Finally showing like some blood, some like actual scenes of how Wolverine really is.
Hmm.
I'll be down for that.
You want
You
more for that?
know? Huh?
You want more of that?
Hell yeah! Do you not?
Oh yeah. Um, I I think X Men is going to be as much as I like am chomping at the bit for this because I think that Tyron Edgerton is going to be a very good Wolverine. Um, I think he's got the look. I think he's got the stance, um, the build for it and stuff. Um, my problem with the X Men, especially in film form, I just don't think that they're going to have the ability to tell stories with this in film form.
I mean, just by Wolverine, Logan by himself, he has like a lot of stories that can be turned into movies. Like he doesn't need
Hmm.
to be, you don't need to have like the whole X-Men cast there.
Hmm.
You don't. Like if you read the comics, like you know that he's he's a lone wolf. He likes to go on
Right.
his own. Like I'm still hoping the day I could see him going at it with Hulk and seeing the Hulk get ripped in half. Because he ate him.
Hmm.
Like I need that. I want that.
Right. Well, I mean, for fans like me, I mean, if you only introduce Wolverine, you're gonna have to introduce mutants altogether. And I feel like if they try and do this, and since they have Disney Plus and stuff, I feel like X-Men is better as a series. Like if they try and do live action series, I think it's better as a series. You have way too many characters, and I think that there's a very fine balance that I think that Disney and Marvel have to find right now because now that you've acquired literally everything in Marvel except for Spider-Man, because your Spider-Man's on loan. Let's just face it. Like his terms and conditions are going to be up here pretty soon. Um, So you literally own everything as far as Marvel goes in their characters, except for Spider-Man. Okay. And now there's criticism when it comes to like all these Disney Plus shows. It's like there's too many characters now. How are you going to fit all these too many characters like in this MCU? And I feel like Marvel and Disney have to find that fine line where it's like, okay, like Moon Knight. Moon Knight, I just don't think that it could have worked as a movie. I don't. I think that they did the right thing and they put it on Disney Plus because he is it's not that he's not a good or a bad character or whatever, but it's just like you're going to add so many characters now to this world that is ever growing, and you're just not going to keep up. You're not going to be able to keep up with this. As and I think with so many questions about like phase 4 and like where they're going with phase 4 and stuff like that, there's the line is starting to stretch really thin, and fans are now just kind of going, okay, like where is this going? And when you start, and then you're going to start introducing like the X-Men and the mutants and like we talked about last week, like the multiverse and everything and all these other things that now you're trying to juggle at once and trying to fit it into like the MCU as a film. I think is going to be very, very difficult. And where I was going with like Moon Knight is that he's like a character that works like under the radar, and he's not a part of like the higher up echelon of like the Marvel. And I think that his story was just enough to kind of like be made into a series to where it didn't feel like it was pushing onto that upper echelon. And I think the X-Men, because you have so many characters that you have to deal with, not only with villains, but as far as like the X-Men go, you're you're going to need to do it as a series, because with all these stories, you're not going to fit that into a 2.5 hour movie. Plus, try and fit it into the larger MCU as a whole. I just feel like they need to do it as a series to where you can then pull characters into the like the larger, like Wolverine, like Tyron Egerton. He's a character in the X-Men series that you pull into the Avengers as a representative of like the X-Men or as mutants as a whole, but you don't take all like the starting 5 of like the X-Men and then you make it a movie of it to make sure that it's, you know, wedged into the larger MCU timeline. I just think that's going to be.
Didn't they kind of did that already with the Multiverse of Madness with Professor X coming in?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like Xavier is a conduit. He's just like a representative of mutants, and then you introduce him, but you're not introducing like the whole cast as like, well, we're gonna throw all the X-Men into like the MCU as in movie form, because that's gonna be impossible. Can you imagine trying to do all those characters in Endgame? Like in an Endgame style like movie, an Avengers movie? That was 60 plus characters as it was. Then you're gonna introduce all the X-Men? Good lord.
Maybe not yet, but probably soon.
I don't know, man. But going back to the point, I think that he's gonna be a good Wolverine.
Well, I really do think so too. Like, I'm really hoping for it, but what I want to know if he's gonna like start fresh, where when they picked him up and made him a lab rat, and he became Project X?
Mm.
Yeah, where he became
Weapon X.
Yeah, Weapon X. When he was Weapon X and he was out to, he was sent on missions, or like, are they going to start off like they did with, Hugh Jackman, and like he was already out?
I think that they need to do it Spider-Man, where he's they're like, because I think that the MCU handled Spider-Man perfectly, because it like the Batman, we don't need another origin story. We got one. we know where Wolverine comes from, and I think that there should be like kind of like the original X-Men movies where there's hints on like what his backstory is, or even any of the X-Men. But just start like there's a crack in the multiverse, and they kind of seep through or whatever, and they end up in the MCU timeline, and it's just kind of like, or maybe it's like something to do with Scarlet Witch, where they like I've heard that theory that she put like some sort of spell for mutants not being alive or whatever. And now that she's dead, the veil is unlifted, or and that they've been here the whole time, or whatever. I can't remember what the exact one, but I think that they just need to like throw it in there. They're like, these are mutants, boom, and then just go with
Well,
it. Because
they're saying that. Well, I don't know if you read it, but they're saying that she's not dead. They're saying that the Conqueror, took her and like imprisoned her for the means of time. So maybe that's why the spell like kind of got like dismissed or whatever.
mm,
So who knows? Maybe like should we make
I don't know.
a comeback with Khan or like like are because it's gonna be very confusing if they bring the X-Men with the Scarlet Witch. Because like they already showed her parents or like her parents dying, because of the Tony Stark missile or bomb, whatever, that landed on the building. But if you know in the comics, they're saying that Magneto was her father, hers and Quicksilver.
Yeah,
So like bringing that in, are they gonna connect that or are they gonna go a separate way?
I have a feeling that this timeline's Wanda is gone. As much as I want to
I don't know,
pull at
man.
that thread. Huh?
If you can see them physically getting head
Oh
chopped off,
yeah.
heart ripped out, they are not dead. You cannot argue with
Oh,
me whatsoever. If you
yeah, that's
see
number one
those
rule
two
for
things,
anything.
they're never dead.
Right. I'm with you. I just think that I don't know.
You
I
know,
have a feeling that
that's why I'm like agreeing that maybe Khan like came back, after Loki variant killed her or killed him. He came back, took Wanda, and he's waiting for something to happen.
I I have a theory that this that the Wanda that we know that turned into the villain of Multiverse of Madness, I think she's actually gone. But I think that a variant of hers that is a mutant is how this whole comic book thing is going to kick in, to where she is actually a mutant. She is actually the daughter of Eric and I can't remember her name, but like with Peter and Wanda, I think they are the children of Magneto in another timeline or another universe, and that's the timeline we're actually that's gonna come like later, and that's how like the that connection in the comic books is actually gonna come to fruition.
You see, because I thought they had already made the connection on the WandaVision, TV series when Peter came in.
What do you mean?
You remember what's his name, the actor that plays Quicksilver that did
Oh, Evan Peters?
yeah,
Yeah.
saw how what was the
No,
name?
that was a boner joke, remember?
I know, but I thought like the first song, I actually thought like yes, they're gonna be like, hey, I found our dad, because if you saw the X-Men Apocalypse, you saw how he was trying to talk to Magneto, be like, you have something to tell me, but at the end he doesn't tell him.
Right.
So I thought that he was like, hey, I'm gonna go get Wanda, then we can both go together and confront him or like talk to him or something. But nope, my dreams were crushed and
Right?
it was a boner
It was a
joke.
boner joke. It was a boner joke.
Yay.
4 episodes for a boner joke.
Yep.
My only problem with WandaVision. All right. Well, Tyron Edgerton, please be Wolverine. Marvel, make it happen. So that's pretty much the end of the news. Let's go into talking about Stranger Things 4. Because like I said at the top of the episode, this probably wasn't going to be a main review for us over on production meetings anyway. So the two of us watched volume 2, Stranger Things 4, all 8 episodes. 8 episodes? 9 episodes.
9.
9 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay,
9.
so we'll cover Stranger Things 4 as a whole, not just each volume. So let's slam it together and just make it like one review. So as we typically do on production meetings, we'll go through the synopsis and then just like kick into it. So brief synopsis of Stranger Things 4 is that Hopper is alive in Russia. He's trying to get home. 11 is living with Jonathan, Will, and Joyce. Try to remember her name. In California, which, side note, looks awfully a lot like Albuquerque to me, because I used to live there. But anyway, so they're living in California. Mike and the rest of the crew are still back in Hawkins, and things ensue to where the kids need to come back together and save Hawkins yet for a 4th time, with a bigger, badder villain, apparently. Speaking of the villain, so we're gonna go into this. I'm gonna go into my review here in just a second. But help me out. If I remember correctly, is he like the above all end all of the Upside Down? So he's like the main guy, right? There's no other, like Vecna is not. There's nobody above Vecna, right?
Well,
Like he's kind of like
that's the
created
thing.
this.
That's the thing that got me. They were like, because when it was Dustin and Lucas and Steve and everybody talking, they were like, "Oh, he's like the stronger knight." You know, at first you send your little pawns, and then you send your knight. You know, before you're king or queen, whatever. But they were talking about Vecna, so that's where it threw me off a little bit. So I'm like, so is there even bigger threat, or is he it?
Right.
Because
I don't know. I can't remember.
spoiler alert, he gets his ass kicked pretty goddamn easy.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll do that was one spoiler, but we'll go back to spoilers here a little bit. So for my non-spoiler review, I love this series. I love this season. I think that with this season, it built upon a lot of what made season 3 better. And then they kind of copied it and made it a little bit better with this season as well. Because I really love the first season. I think the first season is a great callback to Stephen King of the 80s, or like the Spielberg ET kind of sci-fi of the 80s as well. And keeping it in that aesthetic was very smart. And I think that the first season was very strong out of the gate. The second season was boring. It was boring. I didn't like the second season at all. Because like it was like I said, it was just very slow, and there was just like story threads that went out to literally kind of nowhere. And just to kind of pull them all back into Hawkins, or to pull Elle back into Hawkins, was just it was taking too long. It was taking way too long. Whereas the third season, I think it found its pacing. I think the third season found its pacing a lot better than the second season. And the pacing of the third season was really quick. It was just like, okay, all these storylines and all these characters have to kind of merge, and they have to have their own points and things. And it merged in really well and really quickly, to where the threat then was realized, and like it just was paced really well. Whereas this season is the exact same way. Like you have all these storylines going on, and you have all these different characters going on, new characters with like Eddie Munson and stuff like that, and even the high school jock, can't remember his name. But you have all these storylines going on at once, and the pacing of each story was done so well that even though that these episodes for volume 1 were like an hour and 15, hour and 20, it didn't seem that long because you had so much going on. And even with volume 2, like the first, episode 8 was like I think like an hour and a half as well, and then like the final episode of volume 2 was 2 hours and 20 minutes long. That drug a little bit, but it didn't seem like it was 2 hours and 20 minutes long. The cast was amazing in this season. And as I told you privately, I think that the women of this show have the best storylines. Max, especially. I think that she had an amazing storyline coming out of season 3 into this. I think that carried over very well, in her grief and everything of what happened in season 3 was done amazingly. Even Maya Hawke, I can't remember her character's name, but like her coming out of her shell a little bit more from season 3 and her becoming more accepted into the show by the other cast is done really well. Even that Nancy, as much as you and I are going to disagree on this, I think that like even her character is becoming a little bit more mature, and giving her a little bit more emotional weight and a little bit emotional turmoil in this season was done really well. The only thing that I did not like about season 4 is the relationship between Dustin and Steve.
What, really?
Because it kind of went like this, where Eddie became the Steve for Dustin, and then Steve just kind of like went off with Nancy, and I can't remember her name. What is her name?
Robin?
Her character. Huh? Robin. That's what it was.
Well, you gotta think about it. Dustin's just starting high school, and he even said it. Like, Eddie was a nice person to him. Like, he took him in. So, like, I wouldn't blame him. Like, their connection got stronger as time went. Don't get me wrong. Like, there were still the Dustin and Steve moments that we all wanted and loved.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think that that's what built season 2 and 3 is the two of them bonding like that, and even going in like it was season 2 they kind of bonded, and then in season 3 it like flourished amazingly. And I think that by getting away from that relationship, I think that it kind of didn't hurt the show, obviously, because it's an amazing season. But I think if you you went this way with both of them, and to get that back is going to be maybe a little bit more difficult. But I think
I have my thoughts on that.
Right. But I think that's my only criticism about this season is I think that the two of them kind of like going in opposite directions kind of I think will hurt that relationship in season 5. It being the final season, but amazing show. I know on production meeting or on production meetings we kind of give numbers, but I think this is just worth your time. I think Stranger Things is worth everybody's time to kind of watch. All 4 seasons. I think as much as they kind of went away from season 2, there was a little bit of aspects of season 2 in this one, but it's definitely worth your watch. It's all you, buddy.
I mean, I gotta give credit where credit is due. I gotta thank you for introducing me to the show. I was skeptical at first, really didn't want to watch it. I was fighting you back and forth, like, nope, never gonna watch it. And I was like, hey, I'll give it a shot, and here I am. Been watched literally season 1 through 4, except for volume 2 until it came out. But I did all that in under a month.
Nice. All right.
Well, season 1, really caught my attention. It got me intrigued and everything. Like there wasn't really a show that caught how the 80s was back in the day. I feel like this show did. That's something that really caught my eye. Like, My dad was from the 80s. He introduced me like into a bunch of things. That like, like I told my wife, and I'm gonna tell you this, and then the soundtrack was amazing to me for every season. I love the soundtrack. Like, I don't know, just for that, like it caught my eye. And going into season two was weird for me. Like it was weird. And like, I didn't have to wait, for like the seasons to come out. Like I was just going through it.
Most.
Yeah, I was literally going through it. So I was like, okay, it's kind of weird going from this to this, with Elle doing her little rebellious stage, going to see her sister, and then her sister disappearing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Spoilers.
Like really didn't wasn't matching up to it, and then she comes back at the end just to save the day, with her gothly look, which is really. But whatever. Anyways, and then moving into season 3, like with death of somebody that really, I wasn't expecting. I was really hoping that he was going to become part of the team.
Who, Billy?
Yeah, I thought that he was going to become part of the team, like even though he kicked Steve's ass, I was still hoping, like maybe they'll make it up, like I was hoping for him to get saved. I thought he was gonna be saved at the little sauna. I wasn't expecting him, like to break free, but hey, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, wasn't expecting it. That really sad. Moving on to season 4, and it's just like reaching the peak. It's just amazing, man. Like I'm telling you, like I gotta thank you for introducing me to one of the best shows I ever seen. Storyline progressing, seeing the same characters grow up too.
Right.
It just comes in together. It fits in perfect.
Yeah, man. You're welcome.
I will disagree with you on Nancy, though. What you say, she is just like her mom.
She's got to go with the good guy, man.
No, no. My kings deserve better.
Steve?
Yes.
Nice. I know, I'm a fan of Steve. I think that she needs to be with Jonathan.
She shouldn't even be with Jonathan. Like, how you gonna cheat on your? Come on, man. Like,
well, you've been together this long.
I guess she forgot that. That she was ready to leave that man for the hairy chest king.
The hairy chest king.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So let's go spoilers. Huh?
Right. She was drooling for 9 episodes. And then when Jonathan comes back, she's like, oh, hey.
Hey.
Like, really? Really?
Yeah, bro. All right, let's go spoilers. So number 1 is the big villain of this, Vecna. And he does lose badly. Not really. Well, not badly. Still alive at the end of the season, which is kind of surprising to me. Like, she had that shotgun. We couldn't have gotten a little closer with that shotgun.
Like I said, it was Nancy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Didn't one of them have like a sword too? Like, why aren't we swinging that thing around? He's literally like on, huh? Somebody had
the sword.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the 3 of them.
Hopper had the sword. Eddie and Dustin had the spears with the shields, and then they just had like bats and the Molotovs, and she had the shotgun.
Oh well. He's burning. Like, let's really can't let this man live.
I mean, the dude survived like 8 lightning strikes back to back. So,
Oh, that's right. Oh well. Yes, and another character bites the dust. Rip Eddie Munson. Which I'm still like kind of confused. Like, why didn't you see this coming? There's always one. There's always one character in this show that you get attached to, i.e., Bob, Barb, Billy,
Alexi.
and the Russian kid was from season
Alexi.
3. Yeah,
Alexi. Mm.
he got shot, didn't he? He got stabbed or
He
something.
got stabbed. I mean, if I'm being quite honest, I really didn't care about Barb. Like, I'm sorry, everybody. I really didn't care about Barb. Like,
Well, yeah, because
I
that's
didn't get
what, 3
attached.
episodes?
I really didn't get attached to her whatsoever. So, you oh well.
Yeah. Yeah, man, you didn't see this coming?
No, I really didn't, man. Like, I thought he was gonna like pull through, like my man Steve did. He got bit in the abdomen twice too, and he walked away. So I thought I was like, all right. I saw my man poor Dustin, even with his leg all crippled up, going to save his buddy. And the iconic line that is right now, Chrissy, this is for you. Like,
Yeah. Puppet Master? That was a good tune from Metallica.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Good.
not disappointed. They're not disappointed.
Nope. Didn't disappoint when the school bully got cut in half. That was amazing.
Jason? Oh yeah.
Yeah. The jock got jacked in half. Yeah. I was hoping that kid would die. Sorry. I don't hope anybody dies. And I know that they're fictional characters. But I was hoping that kid would die. I was hoping that Lucas would stab that kid.
Man, Lucas was not doing a very good job. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I like Lucas though. He's a good kid. You don't like Lucas? What's wrong with Lucas?
Bro, since season 1, I didn't hate him. I didn't like him, but it's just, I don't know. It didn't click with me. Like, he was always whining and like, complaining. And like, you get the girl in season, at the end of what was it, season 2, going into season 3, for you to just turn around and like turn your back on her and your friends. Like, come on, man. You don't do that.
Grow up.
Like, you stop, the end of the world 3 times together, and then you just gonna go ahead and turn your back on the people like that.
I don't know, man. So out of 10, what would you give this season?
I'll give it a 9.
A 9? Oh, that's high praise. High praise.
Maybe if
All right,
Eddie
man.
died, maybe
Oh, maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's just in the upside down. Oh. All right, man. Any other thoughts on Stranger Things volume? Well, Stranger Things 4?
Well, did you see that the brothers say that they confirm Max is dead, that she's brain dead?
If they don't bring her back, I'm gonna riot.
They are confirming that she's brain dead. That's why when Elle went into her mind, she wasn't able to find her.
Bring her back. I don't care.
I don't believe it. I think they just cut off right then and there before she was able to find her.
Right.
Because if she was really dead, then why wasn't she crying? Unless she was a really bad friend, then that would be my only explanation.
Mm. I don't know. If they don't bring her back, I'm gonna riot. I think she was the best character this season, hands down. So I don't know, man. All right. Well, hopefully they don't wait 2 years to bring out 5, Stranger Things 5. Hopefully we'll get this next year or something. Hopefully soon. That'll be the final season. So hopefully they all walk away from it. I'm gonna guess that there's probably gonna be another few major character deaths. Few major character deaths next year or next season.
Protect Steve at all costs.
I'm sure he's gonna be the first to go.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just kidding. Maybe not. But all right, well, that's Stranger Things 4. You guys, you have anything else before we head out of here?
No, this week was a really short week. There wasn't really much
Yeah, bro.
talk about. I hope everybody had a happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th, Merca. What?
Hope they enjoyed the fireworks. Had some good barbecues.
Yeah, man. Hope so. All right then. Then I will see you next week, and thank you for watching and following us on Facebook. Bye, guys.